This is CNN's Global Town Hall. We're focused on education tonight. Kids in this country will eventually return to school.
But for now, they are still learning at home. So what health and psychological concerns are there for students, educators, and parents alike? Joining us now, John Kelly. He's a school psychologist here on Long Island, New York, and an adjunct professor at St. John's University in the psychology program, and also Angela Duckworth, a psychology professor at the University of Pennsylvania and author of Grit, a fantastic book on the power of passion and perseverance.
I love Grit. It is a great book. One of the most persistent, Angela, factors in everyone's lives right now is uncertainty, scary enough, obviously, for adults to grapple with. How do you help kids navigate that?
The first thing kids should know about uncertainty is the same thing their parents should know, which is that all animals, including human beings, hate uncertainty. It's a really, really uncomfortable psychological state, and that's probably some kind of survival response, that we don't like not knowing what's going to happen to us, especially when we think the future might be dark. And I think some of the most important research on this was done on animals, where when an animal is expecting something bad to happen, but it doesn't have any way to predict or control that, that's when the animal really suffers. It actually shows symptoms of depression and so forth. If you at first acknowledge that anxiety and not knowing the future are supposed to happen to you under circumstances like this, I think that as a great first step. And then you can start to deal with, how do I actually manage this feeling? But the first thing is to, I think, acknowledge it and normalize it.
Do you think, John, do you think that this sort of disruption is going to be long-lasting in terms of the impact, or Angela wrote a book about grit. I mean, is this going to build resilience in kids? How do you think this sort of plays out for school-age kids?
Yeah, it's a really interesting scenario, Sanjay, because I think that what we know about crisis events is that, quite honestly, it affects kids in very different ways. There are multiple factors that come into play that really help to predict how one child might react versus another. So for the majority of kids, they will come through this and they will be okay. There may be some short-term issues that we need to help them through and kind of get them back on track. But we do know that there's another subset of children and adolescents who maybe have some particular vulnerabilities, some challenges that they have been facing. And we'll need to address those issues maybe a little bit longer term.
Often at the end of these town halls, we like to tell you about inspiring stories and deeds, people who've triumphed over the disease or helped their community or have a powerful message for the rest of America, something that will leave you with a feeling of hope.
And tonight, that message comes from the White House itself, from First Lady Melania Trump, who wanted to share this message with students whose worlds have been turned upside down by this virus.
Hello, students. I want to send my greetings and well wishes to all of you this evening. Over the past 2 months, I know you have had to make many changes in your life. Many of you had to attend classes in your homes and haven't been able to see your friends. Many of you were looking forward to your prom, spring sports, and graduation. These changes were not easy, but you have been so strong, and I am proud of the examples you have become. Your determination to get through this will define your generation for years to come. So thank you for helping your families, your friends, your communities, and our country to stay healthy and safe during these unusual times. Thank you for keeping up your studies and learning in new ways. As we navigate the days and weeks ahead, take care of yourself. Use this time to read the book you've been meaning to read. Practice your favorite sport or learn a new one, and help out at home. Be sure to stay in touch with friends and family, and make sure you are being your best self. These are important and healthy habits that we can all easily practice, and they are a reminder that we will only get through this with patience, compassion, and care. Tonight, please know that the President and I are with you during these challenging times, and we continue to do everything we can to support you. God bless you all, and God bless the United States of America.
Really lovely and so important. And as the First Lady just mentioned, these are challenging times. A lot of our viewers are asking about how they can help others, how they can find help themselves. You can find out how by going to cnn.com/coronavirus. You can find out there how to help. There's even categories to search for where you want to contribute, in addition to resources for self-help. You can also go to cnn.com/impact.
Sanjay, thank you. I want to thank First Lady Melania Trump, Dr. Anthony Fauci, Father John Jenkins, and all the educators who joined us tonight. Also, thanks to those of you who wrote in with your questions, to everyone who joined us tonight. If you didn't get your question answered, the conversation continues at cnn.com/coronavirus answers.